toxic relationships can create the same addiction cycle as a drug. And once you are hooked, your mind will do anything to keep the illusion alive. That's why you keep going back, even when you know that you shouldn't. And even if you do manage to leave the person you are in a toxic relationship with, if you don't heal the root cause of the addiction, you will repeat the same pattern over and over again, just with a different partner. If you are tired of feeling like your whole nervous system is constantly on edge, you're tired of always waiting for the next message, the next apology, the next tiny moment of warmth that makes all the pain feel worth it. If you are tired of walking on eggshells just to avoid triggering the other person, and if the moment they disappear, your chest tightens, your stomach drops, and your mind starts to spiral with questions that you never say out loud because it's too embarrassing. Like, for example, why am I never enough for them? Or perhaps you think, maybe this time they will change. Maybe this time it will be different. But it never is. So if you feel confused, ashamed, and so tired of losing yourself in someone else's darkness, this video is for you. And in the next few minutes, you will understand how you have been allowing yourself to get hooked, and how your body, your wounds, and your beliefs created an addiction to the wrong kind of love. Because once you start seeing it and treating it as an addiction, your chances of breaking the cycle become so much higher. And this is where shamanism comes in, because the shamanic path doesn't just help you leave one toxic relationship. It helps you heal the root, the energetic contracts, the old wounds that keep pulling you back. And if you heal the root, you will never get caught in a toxic relationship again. So stay with me until the end, because I will guide you through a simple, powerful ritual to help you reclaim your energy and begin releasing the person you've been bound to. But first, let's understand the addiction better. Here's what most people don't realize. Your toxic relationship didn't start the moment that you met that person. It started way before, in your childhood, in your trauma, or maybe even in past lives. And in shamanism, the way that you start something creates the energetic blueprint for everything that follows. This is why beginnings are so important. So, I know this because of my own beginning, like how my love life started. So my first relationship started when I was 13 years old, and it shaped my entire love life for many years. And because it was so traumatic, I kept attracting other toxic partners after that. So my first boyfriend carried deep narcissistic traits, and later I discovered that he wasn't only manipulative, he was being influenced by entities. And in shamanism, we say the way you enter the circle defines the energy of the entire cycle. And that's exactly what happened. So my love life started with trauma, confusion, and a lot of pain. And years later, I had to work really hard to change this curse that I had created myself, to heal the root of my addiction. And the most difficult part was this. I had to face my own darkness. I had to look at my own toxic traits. That's right, because you don't walk into a toxic relationship if you don't have any toxic parts inside of yourself. For some people, those parts look like low self-worth, not being able to set boundaries, abandoning parts of your essence just to please the other, or shrinking yourself to avoid triggering the other person. So in other words, and let me say this very clearly, a toxic relationship is not just about the other person. It is the wounded part inside you that responds to them. So listen, if you abandon or shrink or betray yourself in a toxic relationship, the other person will just mirror that energy and will do the same to you. And in the next section, I will explain you the energetic contracts that pull you back into pain. The energetic contracts that make you return to someone the way an addict returns to their substance. But before we continue, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps more people find this video and this information, and it truly supports my work. So there are two very important things that make a relationship toxic. Number one are toxic beliefs. And number two are energetic contracts or energetic cages. A toxic belief lives in the mind, while an energetic contract or energetic cage lives in your energy system. So if you are or you were in a toxic relationship, you probably carry both of them. So what does it actually mean? Well, a toxic belief is a thought that you repeat so often that it becomes your emotional reality. Things like, I am not enough, love has to be earned, or if I don't try harder, they will leave. These are mental patterns shaped by past experiences. But an energetic cage goes much deeper than that. It goes beyond the mental level. It is an unconscious agreement formed during trauma, heartbreak, childhood wounds, curses, or past lives experiences. And because these cages or contracts live in your energy field, you don't just think them, you attract them. You feel drawn to them, and you repeat them even when you know they're hurting you. Here are some examples of energetic cages. I am responsible for someone else's healing. I must save them to be worthy. I don't deserve stable love. If they leave, it's my fault. Love should hurt. That means it's real. I have to fix others to be loved. If they pull away, I must try harder. So, and where do these energetic contracts or cages come from? They come from wounded parts of yourself, such as your inner child who learned that love equals pain, or from your inner critic who believes you are not enough, or from your wounded woman or wounded man who carries abandonment. It could also come from your ancestral patterns passed down through generations to you, and even family curses and energetic imprints, and also entities, because especially in relationships filled with trauma and addiction, they might be present and influence the relationship, like the toxic behaviors. And it could also come from your protective parts, like the ones who choose pain over loneliness. And if you resonate with any of this, you might be caught in cycles like the hot-cold dynamic, where their distance makes you chase them, or the hero-savior pattern, where their chaos becomes your mission, or the broken promise loop, where the hope becomes the drug, like every promise gives you hope, and that becomes like your loop of toxicity. So before we go on, I want you to know something. You are not alone. So many of us have lived these patterns, including me. I was in toxic relationships too, and I carried many of these energetic contracts inside of me. And in this video, I will share ways to heal them and to free yourself. The same ones that I used for my healing process. But first, let's explore a deeper layer of toxic relationships that nobody talks about. Toxic relationships also create a chemical addiction. That's right. Every time they pull away, your dopamine level crashes. And every time they return with affection, your dopamine level spikes again. So this cycle, hope, disappointment, it's identical to a substance addiction. So that's why leaving the other person feels like a withdrawal, like it's not just your beliefs, it's not just the energetic cages, it's literally your brain. Your brain becomes addicted to the person and to the pattern. And as I explained in my book, addiction isn't the enemy, it's the messenger. It comes to show you exactly where your soul is calling for healing and where you are ready to reclaim your power. So, how do we actually break the addiction to toxic relationships? For me personally, it wasn't just one single thing that saved me. It was a whole journey. And today I want to share with you some of the methods that helped me free myself from the painful cycle of toxic relationships. So one of the most powerful tools for me was family constellations. It brought me clarity about the roots of my addiction, the stories of my ancestors, the family curses that we were carrying without even knowing it, and the patterns of abandonment, rejection, and unworthiness that didn't even start with me. And the family constellations also revealed my toxic beliefs, my toxic behaviors, and the parts of myself that kept choosing pain because pain felt familiar. So, releasing these beliefs was a long process. There were many shamanic rituals involved: deep soul work, energy extractions, cord cuttings, offerings, and journeys into the unconscious. But I also needed grounding techniques for my nervous system. Like, for example, EFT tapping helped me calm the emotional waves, and breath work, which helped me release trauma from my body. And to release the energetic layers, I also needed a lot of shamanic work, the kind that you can experience yourself and learn in my retreats through the gates of shamanism, where we do many shamanic healing rituals together and open into the heart, especially for people who want to open their hearts and learn how to love in a conscious and healthy way. And in my book, Addiction Free, I share many rituals and practices that helped me break the contracts and free myself from these cycles. I also prepared for you a playlist with all my other videos about addiction. But today, in this video, I want to share one powerful ritual with you. So for this ritual, you will need a candle, a bowl of water, a piece of paper, and a pen. Make sure that you sit in a clean, peaceful space without disturbances. So the first step is to name the contract. So you write down one sentence that represents the energetic cage that you want to release, such as, love means suffering. If they leave, it's my fault. I must fix them, or I must fix others to be loved. Things like this. So this step will bring the contract or the cage from the unconscious into the physical world. And if you have many energetic cages, then you should repeat this ritual as many times as you need. Then comes the second step, which is to face the contract. So you hold the paper in your hands and you acknowledge, this contract is not my truth. This wound is not my identity. This pattern ends now. This step brings awareness and breaks the illusion that the contract defines you. It's very important that you feel the words while you speak them. Then comes step number 3, which is to release the contract. So you light the candle and you burn the paper. You let it turn into ash, and then you drop the ashes into the bowl of water, because fire transforms and water purifies. And this symbolizes the contract dissolving from your energy field. And you can even visualize it and also connect with the feeling, with this vision of the cage or the energetic contract dissolving from your energy field. Step number 4 is to call your power back, a very important step. So you place your hands on your heart and you affirm your intention to reclaim the parts of yourself that you abandoned during the toxic relationship. Your worth, your voice, your boundaries, your truth. And then the last step is the step number 5, to seal the ritual. You take a breath and you observe how you feel, and you allow the process to integrate. This ritual marks the moment when you choose to end the cycle and step into a new energy. Let me know in the comments how the ritual went for you and what you felt afterwards. I wish you a wonderful journey to yourself.